guys, Sean, lessons that were dummies. Well, I wasn't expecting the response I was going to get from this. And I will start off by saying this is like an early fitment. It's kind of cobbled together. It actually isn't even test fired yet. I had this Huben cricket stock for a bit, and it's just been charged. So I know there's a lot of you guys out there that are uncomfortable with, you know, overseas products. Now, Huben, yes, the same Huben that does the GK1, actually has an AliExpress store. So that's where I picked this up. Everything else is offshore at this point. This whole rig, this setup, the bottle, the regulator, not the on-off, obviously. Well, I guess it is because that's Germany. But it's been pressure tested is where I was getting to. So when I get this kind of setups, you know, I've done that with my tube setups here. I have one laying right here. You know, these PCP tubes. Normally what I do is I pump them up. I just let them sit. I want to make sure they don't blow up. They hold pressure. Usually I give it about 30 days. This one has been holding for 3 weeks. No, not quite 30 days, of course. Object of this was the M17 of all the markers is a little long in the rear. So coming from the PCP world, is this buttstock. Now, again, it's fitted together kind of awkwardly right now. You can see, obviously, let me step in here. Sorry, I'm stepping over markers because I want to demonstrate the overall length of this. That's not going to work. This is a bottle I had already. It's a 13 CI. So I've now ordered a carbon bottle that is much shorter. It's going to hold more air too. And it's probably going to give me the room that I want here. So again, this is just mock-up. But I am going to test fire in this video, so hang on. Yeah, that's about it there. A couple of questions that was asked is, it didn't look any shorter, and it doesn't. And I think that has a lot to do with kind of the spindly look that's happening right here. And again, like I said, I've used some adapters, and I'll throw it on the table there quick and we'll just go over it. But yeah, it does give it a different look for sure, but it's shorter. It's definitely shorter. So I got a few markers laid out in front of me. The beauty of this is, just gotta loosen it off here. It is self-contained, so I can remove it as is like this. This is a charged unit right here. So it's got a HomeDefense-24 on off here. So there's no pressure on pins and yada yada yada, and this will degas. There's a lot of redundancies in this. As is, like I said, early mock-up. You know, a gauge there, I got a gauge there, I got a fill nipple there, got a fill nipple there. So obviously when I kind of settle on a design, you know, or a functional design, you know, some of this stuff I can remove. I'm thinking maybe even, as much as I love the HomeDefense-24 on off here, that I could go with a quick quarter turn and, you know, one of these ports here. Well, not that port, but, well, even the port on the HomeDefense-24 heat core, this could be converted to a degas instead of a gauge. So there's an opportunity to make this more compact, and when the bottle arrives, yeah, for sure, we're gonna do some more fitment, but let me throw it back on the marker here. I have two M17 A2s, and I'll just measure based on a 13 CI bottle. Now, you could run a 10 CI bottle, and obviously you're gonna probably pick up that difference that I'm gonna demonstrate here, but the M17 can use every little bit of air it can get, so going too small a bottle these days is, you know, I'd like to be able to, I've proven that that tube can do, a 4,500 PSI, 100 cc tube can do 20 rounds. So, whatever. Let's just put it on there and measure it. I'm talking too much. I'm just gonna quickly throw it back on here. So you can see part of the issue is getting it clocked correctly. Now, this rag that is installed on here is not a clockable rag. So if you're familiar with like Ninja bottles, where they're 360-degree adjustable, or First Strike, where they can be clocked, I think, I don't know, like 15 degrees at a time or something like that. This one is not. So in the setup that you saw in a post yesterday, I was using shims inside the ASA here just to get to stop right where I wanted it, and it did work good, but let's measure these guys. All right, so these are lined up near as close as I can. Hopefully you can kind of detect one is much shorter. So 13 CI and a 13 CI with a HomeDefence-24 on off and a HomeDefence-24 on off. The devil is in the details though. So I'm gonna measure from this point right here on both markers to, this is just a slip-on buttstock. We have 13 inches. 13 CI bottle, on off, and just a clamp on buttstock, 13 inches. Right there, 10¼ inches. But not really usable at this point because the tank has to be shortened up, or we can adjust our length in this area here. So it can be shorter, but that'll depend a lot on the final setup and how you choose to do so. All right, well, I brought out a few other markers here because this does provide something interesting, and whether it's useful or it's just a look you're going for on another marker. Like I said, self-contained. So I brought my HDP 50 out here. Has a rear air adapter. You could theoretically put these two together. Now, it's not the right length, as you can see here. Screwed into my ASA, the bottle just wouldn't clear. So you could attach the appropriate adapters to give yourself the room needed. You know, just to do something different, right? I mean, ultimately, putting a bottle in the back of this with an on-off is short. Which brings me to my next marker. A VKS. You have absolutely no reason to put one of these in the back, but you could. VKS has this super awesome degassing ASA But again, maybe it's just the look you're going for. And you can see here, as it's set up here for my M17, it's not gonna fit the VKS, but with the appropriate spacers, you could. Would you? I probably wouldn't myself, but options. So, you know, you choose to build one of these, you really could use it in a lot of different markers, you know, just depending on the length that you have set up and, you know, your bottle size. And it's not as simple, but I'll throw it on the table here. We'll just go over quickly how I built this one and where I'm going. This is a quality offshore product, just like their air pistols. So let's go through this quick. Things to note, I'm going to link this, but this is intended for PCP. So when you go to their AliExpress store, they sell regulators, adjustable regulators that on the outside look super sweet, and the devil is in the details, guys, because those regulators are intended for PCP airgun. They don't have burst discs. We're using this in a paintball marker. So I have installed a paintball regulator. Do not purchase the PCP regulator as much as you want to. Danger zone big time. It's failures ultimately happen when you least expect them, and that is what these burst discs are designed to do. The M17 or any paintball marker for that matter is not designed to withstand full bottle pressure. These discs are installed to burst before you send a bomb into your marker. So it's very important that you do not get awestruck by these guys' AliExpress store or anything mostly PCP related. Biggest thing with this buttstock, and you're gonna see there are other versions there. There are more expensive versions. I just didn't like the angle of the back, so I chose this one, which just happened to be the most inexpensive version. Is the thread that you're gonna find is probably only going to accept bottles that are offshore. This is M18 thread. M18 thread. So your standard first strike bottles like this are 5/8. They will not thread into here, which is the biggest hang up, because I would love to use a 10 CI bottle on there, and you can see that. Look at that. I mean, bingo bongo. That'd be awesome, but this bottle will not thread on there. So you must use an offshore bottle that has an M18 thread. Same goes for the regulator. Now there are adapters that I also ordered to adapt to your standard Ninja regulator, which I don't have one here, but also, okay, so these are 5/8. These first strike are 5/8 bottle thread. So I have an adapter coming. So you could use a standard regulator. It would move it up to this area here because the adapter is going to fit right here. But at this point, I'm not going to go too deep into that. I mean, if you're capable of sorting out the threading adapters, then this is probably something that you can do. I'm not going to spell it out because doing something like this can be risky. The honest truth here, guys, is if you can't decipher what parts you need here, it's probably not the project for you. This can be dangerous. This is high pressure air. It may seem harmless, but it is not. Other things to note here. When I was speaking about spacers here, so this is, you can see there's a stamping, kind of this red logo here. It says CP. This is a CP HPA bottle extender. First Strike also sells these. These are stackable. This is an adapter. It's a spacer. You can stack these. Stack them, stack them, stack them. Do you want to stack too many of them? Probably not. The more times you stack these, they are sealed. Just like any standard HPA bottle, they have an O-ring seal at the end. And the more you stack them, the more you open opportunity for leaks. But this makes this 100% adjustable. You can make this as long or as short as you want. So currently I'm only running one in there. I could make it even shorter, but of course, then it doesn't work with my M17. And here's something else that I've been thinking about, and I haven't tested this yet, so I don't know the repercussions of it. Do you notice anything particular about this? I have the spacer installed here. Now I have the HomeDefense-24 heat core here, which is a big open chamber. If I moved this on off back and put the spacer on this end, essentially I am increasing the heat core chamber size. I don't know what the outcome would be, and I test it now, but you can see I couldn't get this off, and it should come off. It probably will come off. I put a little wrench on it here because only this part is under pressure right here. Actually, no, you're right. I'm right, not you guys. Yeah, this is under pressure right here, so that's why this is locked together. But you see what I'm saying? Move this back, spacer here, spacer, 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 spacer. You could really make your air chamber as large or as small as you wanted. Obviously, you're increasing length as well. All right, well, enough with that. Let's go test fire this, but I got something I promised somebody I would at least try. And I've had this box on my table for a couple of days. I've been just really busy, and I'm sorry, Daniel, but here we go. Okay, so I had these projectiles sent to me by a friend of the channel, Facebook group friend, Daniel Davis. DK just did a very thorough video on these, which I'm not going to do because I am not educated enough to make any kind of decisions on shape projectiles. Send me these projectiles to just test fire. These are clones he made of a MCS kinetic. Where's my... There it is. You know, just for fun. And he was just curious, see how they shoot. So I'm just gonna weigh them. 6.4, 6.1, 6.2, 6.4, 6.2, 6.3, 6.2, but that's a 3, 6.4. Ooh, that one's a little light. That was a little light, Dan. Okay, we're gonna shoot these ones. We're just gonna call them 6.3, but I'm gonna shoot them on the second mag just to see how they fire. Because I want to chronograph this setup, and I know you want to see it on the shorty, but this regulator is only set for 550 PSI. Super low output in terms of less lethal. but it is set up to work with my HomeDefence-24 kitted out M17. So let's go see if this thing actually works. All right, guys, well, by no intentional purpose, I cannot find my clear safety glasses. So today I'm going with the cool guy glasses. And yes, they are safety glasses. I don't just make them look this good. Okay, M17 HomeDefence-24 full kit. 550 psi output on this bottle. Bear with me here. And you can see there, shims work perfectly. Clearance, this heat core is a little bit longer than the factory M17 heat core. So you can see I have a little bit more room there. The new carbon tank is going to be shorter and rounded, so it should provide ample room. But who knows, is this thing's even going to work? Pump to 3,000 psi. 9.9 gram rye balls. Release the magazine. Okay. Pray with me. Oh, like butter. The beauty when such low bottle pressure, this thing barely makes a snap. Like it's like the bolt just kind of goes whoop. And I can demonstrate here. The output is saying, well, it's saying close to 600, but I've tested this apparatus with my my trusty gauge, and it's at 550. So I'm gonna stick with trusty liquid filled gauge. Get a good look about it. Right now, I can tell you, this stuff right here is in the way. Doesn't make for a good cheek hold, but it will be removed at some point, or minimized. Okay, output time. .346, I don't know what the 33 is. 346. .342. .354. .340. I think you get the picture there. One thing, because it's the first time I fired this, I did notice the velocity wavered a little. That could be a lot due to restrictions in here. This particular adapter I'm using does have a pin valve on it, so I could remove that or go with a different adapter. Again, guys, this is just early tests and trials, so don't drill me too hard. Let's fire the rest of this mag, and then I'm gonna load up Daniel Davis's projectiles. We'll just see if they cycle. Let's just go through the motions. We will degas it. Degasses as it should. These stick mags will always leave one behind. There should be one in there, as is the case. I'll just lay it down quick here. Daniel, let's get a closer look at these. For all the marbles, guys. Well, that one doesn't have one in it, but these ones do. So he put marbles inside these. You know, I love you guys for sending me stuff, and you know, kudos to you for trying this stuff. And I know he's invested a bunch of cake in some machinery, so be curious to see what he comes up with next. Again, we all start with clones, and it's all about that final product. So got a new mag here. Just load them in. Zeta mags accept shaped projectiles. And we said we were gonna round these off to 6.3. Just, they're all over the place because he used different marbles and stuff in there. So this is more just about, oops, just testing the action of these projectiles. Air it up. Again, Daniel, thank you. This is for all the marbles. $418. Oh, it said 414. $410. 3 shots of shaped. That's better than I usually do. Oh, I think that was a jam. That click. The undeniable click. But it happens. It happens. Yeah, we got a flip. You can see, went straight up in there. No worries, Daniel, man. Thank you for sending those to me. Much appreciated. Oh, and there, it just fell out on its own. Perfect. And that is a Huben HomeDefense 24 Huben M17? Huben HomeDefence-24 M17. I don't know. Pretty cool though, right guys? Links in the comments, or links in the video description. Do what you like with them. I can help and answer as many questions as possible, but even I am still asking my own questions. I'm out of here.